Welcome once again to Singles Club. I'm your host, Ed, and as always, I'm joined by the lovely Alex.
Thank you. Hope you're all having a great day or night. As we've established, there's no prejudice to what time you're listening to this. Just have a good time, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Please don't write angry comments about how you resent us wishing you a good day because it's not the daytime, because we don't need that shit in our lives right now. Should we turn this into an ASMR channel? Should we just do this whole...
No.
Should we do this whole review in ASMR? That'd be pretty great.
I don't know what editing tricks you can do in my voice, but I'm not going to intentionally do ASMR.
Stick your lips on the laptop built-in mic.
Oh no, I don't want to get any metallic originating diseases. Anyway.
Speaking of metallic originating diseases, this week we're reviewing the new song by L Harle featuring Maury. The song is titled Me4U. It's stylized in a certain way that I can't be bothered to look up right now, but it shouldn't be that difficult to find if you're interested in checking out this single.
Me4U.
Yeah. It's very, very MSN, like a lot of PC music aesthetic and style and, the way they approach their shit.
Mm-hmm.
L Harle, one of PC music's more prolific and impressive producers, I think. He's up there with Sophie and A.G. Cook as one of the main brains of that little collective. He's come out with some of the best pop singles in recent times. He's done production for artists like Charlie XCX and probably most notably Carly Rae Jepsen on the song Supernatural, which is under L Harle, featuring Carly Rae. Amazing song.
What a song. What a song.
What a track. What a track.
Yes. It does help we're big Carly Rae Jepsen fans, but L Harle, he did provide the bedrock to that being a great song in the first place, sort of.
Very much so, yeah, and he wrote the lyrics of that track as well, so...
Yeah, and also Broken Flowers is another great track.
Broken Flowers, fantastic track, fantastic EP.
Yeah, and I was very hyped to hear this in general.
Me too.
More L Harle is a good sign.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing. I was only really hyped for a little while, though, because they announced this track hours before it was set to drop.
Right.
And I must admit, this is the most disappointed I've been in a L Harle track in a while, to be completely honest. And that's not so much because of the instrumental, which I think actually sounds pretty great. The production quality here is on a new level. I think this sounds a little better than the Supernatural instrumental in terms of not necessarily the progression of the song or how catchy the instrumental is or anything like that, but in terms of the sheer sonic capacity of this track, it's a lot broader. Yeah, I think.
I felt like the Supernatural instrumental, even though it has some nice, jagged synth parts to it, it did feel slightly muffled in a way for some reason, but this one was super sleek and clear, which I feel like maybe the muffled sound does kind of fit PC music in general, the whole experimental pop vibe. But yeah, I agree, this is definitely a next level production instrumentation style from Danny.
The bells on this track sound fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty enamored with the production on here, the sound of the production. But in terms of the feature by Maury, I really didn't care for this feature at all. I find her voice very grating. Just by my personal taste, it really didn't appeal to me. And the actual structure of the song was pretty unmemorable as well, by Danny's standards. I mean, his last however many tracks that had features on them have really stuck with me from first listen, but here, after listening to this a bunch of times, not all that enamored with it, to be completely honest. I mean, Alex, what did you think of this track?
Once again, context is always a big proponent on what makes our opinions form. Before listening to this, I had just heard Katy Perry's new song Bon Appetit, which honestly isn't too different. I don't know, it gave me weird similar vibes instrumentally.
I've not heard that.
Well, it's no surprise that it's quite flawed, but the whole aesthetic was very similar. So hearing this, and bear in mind also I had my expectations lowered. I know you did as well, obviously, that it was not going to be someone on the same caliber as Carly Rae Jepsen. So I'd go in neutral with Maury. But for some reason, I really did not mind it. Like, her vocal effects, I'm completely certain there's been some heavy doctoring to her vocals. Of that, there's no doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
But it didn't feel like there was that much. It felt like it was still within the realms of her range. Like, I'm certain she has quite a high-pitched range to begin with. But I didn't mind it, though. I don't know why. It's hard to explain. It's just a face value. I didn't mind her vocals. There's not much else I can say. That basically means I like the whole song.
Yeah, I mean, the performance is a big part of this track. There's few moments in this instrumental where you're not hearing Maury's vocal. So it really is an Achilles heel for me.
Yeah.
And maybe if I were to hear an instrumental version of this track, I'd like it a lot more. Ooh. But who knows?
Danny does release instrumental tracks, doesn't he?
He tends to.
So you might be in luck.
Might be in luck, but this is only really a small speed bump for him, for me. He's had really good track record so far, which honestly can't be said for a lot of members of PC Music. I think they've been very hit or miss in their releases. Mostly hits in the case of artists like Sophie, but some misses, like After the After Party.
Oh.
Lest we forget, the worst song of last year.
I barely even register that as a PC Music song, though. I know it is.
Well,
but...
Sophie had involvement, so...
Yeah.
And it's not like it didn't sound like a PC Music song, it's just the core song there was awful. I can't say the same thing about this track, this new L Harle. I just think this is kind of passable. It's kind of just average for him. Which is honestly a disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, if you don't like the vocals, you probably not dig this too much, as Ed clearly doesn't too much, although he likes certain aspects of this very much so. Well, just as a wee side note to the whole instrumental aspect, I was getting some weird Euro house 90s vibes from it almost. Like Eurodance. I don't know if that's a big part of PC Music in general.
No, not really. I think that was the biggest appeal of this song for me, which was this direction. Sounding quite unlike anything else that's come out of PC Music is the best thing this track has going for it. I just think the core song is not very good at all.
Yeah. I mean, the chorus lyrically is very disposable, I'll have to say.
Yeah. Chorus is a big part of what makes a pop song appealing. It's always been the case, and it always will be. I listened to this track not 3 hours ago, and I can't for the life of me remember how it goes. Yeah, quite an unfortunate, perspective from myself, but Alex liked it, so,
50-50.
50-50, I mean, to conclude, to provide a recommendation, I personally wouldn't. I don't think this is a very good track. I don't think it's terrible. Check it out if you want to. Check it out if you like L Harle. But if you don't like L Harle, this probably won't do much to remedy that. Could be wrong, because it is so different from the other stuff he's put out and the other stuff that's come out of the PC Music camp. But the feature and the lack of structure in this song are two really big Achilles heels for me. I just think it's an okay track. It's not something that I'm going to be revisiting anytime soon.
I would highly recommend this. I think it was a really nice, concise, a bit formless, a bit structureless, but I don't know, maybe my whole enjoyment of funk music means that I like sort of formless, catchy songs, because a lot of funk kind of is, and this does have a funky vibe even if it's not really funk at all. A lot of funk is basically kind of formless soul pop in some sense. Yeah, it can have a structure, but it can jam hard vocally. James Brown is a good example of that. So, I don't know, the whole vibe of it, I felt like I was predisposed to enjoy it. A lot of people might not be. I don't know what the general consensus of this is. I think a lot of people do like it. So yeah, highly recommended for me. This is going to be one of my summer jams, definitely.
And it's going to be straight in the recycle bin for yours truly. I don't enjoy not liking things.
That's true.
I'm not one of those people who gets pleasure out of disliking things, but
the recycle
gotta
bin.
Be honest here on Singles Club, and God's honest truth is that I didn't really care for this. If you put more weight in Alex's opinions, by all means, check it out. Sorry, Alex, that was quite nasty of me.
It's okay. But the recycle bin seems a bit harsh.
It is very harsh. That was hyperbolic on my part. I apologise for that.
But then again, the recycle bin could recycle Maury's vocals into something more enjoyable for you, recycled back.
Potentially. I mean, Danny L Harle's not averse to remixing his own tracks.
Oh
so.
God! After the after party got plenty.
Well, I'm pretty sure Danny had no involvement with that.
That's true. That's true. It's just something I had in my mind with Sophie, but I don't even think he made the remixes.
Yeah, dude. Sophie's a guy. What are you? Where are you living? 2011.
No, I knew that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I guess with that we can wrap up this episode of Singles Club. As always, I've been your captain, Ed.
And I've been your first mate, Alex.
Let's never do an outro like that again. It's really cringy.
Yep.
And yeah, share your thoughts on this single in the comments below. I'm pretty sure people can't edit the description. Only I can do that. But in the description, you will find a link to Busted Speakers, which Alex is a regular contributor to.
Oh yeah, I'm the co-host. I'm the real.
He's the co-host. He's on every episode. He's on every episode.
Well, yeah.
I'm also on Busted Speakers sometimes. Feel free to check out our ridiculously long Sun Kill Moon review.
And others.
And others. Not the Sleaford Mods one, because I
yeah.
don't want any more mean comments on that video. Because we were just expressing our opinions.
Yeah.
Are we not even allowed to do that?
Well, this is like Busted Speakers therapy. That's become a thing on Busted Speakers anyway. On a few episodes. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Singles Club.
Yeah, thanks. So I was just about to do that, so I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Should we just let this keep running? I mean, why not? No.
I've got other stuff to do.
Yeah. So, yeah. Catch you next time, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.